Check 1 2 1 2. Welcome back, my friends. I'm the Zim. This is the Zim video, and this is what we call the Art Professors Podcast. Those of you that might be new around here, I'm an art professor. That's what I'm trying to do with my life. I like it. It's fun. And we're looking for more jobs, which we'll talk about in a second. But right now, we're teaching at Northwest Missouri State University. I was on a one-year term position here. I taught at San Diego State University last year. I got my MFA at San Diego State University, and then I got my undergrad at the University of Washington a while back. Undergrad was focused on fiber arts. Graduate school was, I consider it interdisciplinary, but I worked with the graphic design department, so I learned a lot about graphic design. So I'm teaching graphic design, and I've been learning way more about graphic design. Like my graphic design career, and I guess you could say, or knowledge base, that's a better way to put it, has gone up exponentially over the last, since I started grad school in a lot of ways. But even after kind of like the last year of grad school into today, it's just been like crazy. And I'm picking up on a lot of different things, thinking about philosophy of it too, which is interesting. I think I've probably mentioned this before, but I would much rather teach graphic design as an art practice versus a client-based practice. And what does that mean for the education, like the classroom and the setting and the philosophy of the school and what you're telling the students, and making sure that they understand, like, you will learn what you need for client-based work, but while you're here, you're going to be an artist. And it's the same way that I was told when I went to fiber arts. They were like, this is not a fashion design school. This is not fashion design. This is fiber arts. I think there's a very similar correlation that can happen, that, graphic design could be, this is not client work. This is art. We're going to use design principles to make art, which is way more fun. And I think I've said this before, but I think it's a lot easier to go from that direction. Like, you become a critical thinker on how to use design language. It's easier to go from there to client-based work versus going, well, we're just going to do everything with the intention that you're eventually going to be working for somebody else and you're going to need to follow their rules. And it's easier to go from, you have your own ability and capability and thought process down versus going from that other spot up in my visualization to being an independently creative person. Because really, in art school, you don't learn. I've been told this, and it seems to be accurate, that where you actually learn graphic design is when you're working for someone else. In art school, you kind of just don't really learn it until you really are in the field of it. There are things you can kind of put together, I guess, in some ways. I don't know. It just depends on the type of student you are. And a lot of the graphic design students, like honestly, the best graphic design students in a way are also the ones that are sort of already working in the field, found internships, found things that allow them to actually apply the knowledge and have to do it versus just doing it for assignments. The amount of students, when I'm confronted with a student that doesn't seem to just want to be an artist or want to be creative, but are taking these creative classes because of, I don't know what reasons, totally, like, they just want a degree. They think I don't know what it, I haven't figured out that kind of disconnect sometimes, but it's like a luxury. It's a massive luxury to be able to go to school for art. It's like you basically get to do whatever you want. You just have to do it within the context of a classroom. Whereas when you're taking like anything else, there's a lot more structure around, you have to know these set of numbers in order to understand that set of numbers, in order to understand that thing and that. But in art, it's like, I don't know. It brings up another kind of concept, which I'll talk about more in a second, with what type of art school does the art school want to be? Well, I'll talk more about that in a little bit because it's coming up. We have a few bullet point lists. I have a list of things that I'm going to talk about, but welcome back. First thing I want to mention is I got a mug. I don't know if I mentioned this last time. I probably did, but I have a new mug I bought at a truck stop diner here in Maryville. That is my new favorite mug, and I like basically only use this mug. So it's great because I make sure I'm washing my dishes. I don't just let things pile up. So it's this nice thick diner mug. It's great. I went on my birthday, got some food, got some breakfast a couple weeks ago, and I was drinking out of this mug, and I asked them if I could buy one, and they said yep, and I got it. So now it's my like new favorite mug. I love it. Yeah, and it's a good like memento, little token of little like, what is it called? I forget, there's a word for it, but a little thing that I can have what is it called? It's right there. It's like I can't quite think of it, like token of like living here. Yeah, I can't. Trinket. There's a word for it. Memorabilia. There's another word. I don't know. You're probably like, it's this, them. Maybe I'll think of it as I'm talking to you. All right. The big thing that I wanted to mention again is making sure you're all aware that I have an exhibition coming up this summer, May 13th through the 30th, the Hiram Van Gordon Gallery at Tennessee State University. We're going to be drawing 72 drawings of Justin Jones and 69 drawings of Justin Pearson. That's 141 drawings total. It'll be a live in-gallery performance of the drawings. So fingers crossed, nothing prevents that from happening. That's the big, I'm sure the first couple days, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Right now, I feel like I'm aware that I might get really anxious, but I also feel like it won't be as bad as it was when I did the 116, because I am practicing more like right now. So I'll like sort of be a little bit ready. I already have the knowledge and memory of the first exhibition. So, but I also know like if that anxiety of something happening, will freak me out. But the big piece of it, so I still don't have, a bummer piece is I was going to do a radio interview while I was there, and the person that I was going to do it with changed how they're working with the radio place, and I don't know, it just basically got canceled. So I'm bummed about that. Maybe something else will manifest. I haven't done a lot of legwork. I just, it's hard to do everything. I haven't done a lot of legwork on trying to get something like that lined up. A couple months ago, I did send out a bunch of emails to podcasts and other places, and none of them responded, which is kind of disappointing. I guess maybe they get a lot of emails. I don't know. It just seems like they could be like, yeah, we're not interested at this time or something. I don't know. So that didn't happen. I'm going to start emailing people I know starting next month. Basically, we have a couple of days left until April. So I'll be emailing some people I know, reaching out to them, see if I can make some connections. I think, hopefully, fingers crossed, figure out my housing situation. If I'm still waiting on the university to say, yeah, you can stay in one of our dorms, that's what I prefer, because I just will be right there. I can like walk to the gallery probably, and like I won't have to drive around or anything. I'll just be right there. Hopefully be fairly convenient. I'm still fingers crossed that'll happen, but in the next few days, I'm going to, hopefully it'll still be available, but I'm going to reserve Airbnb a room. It's not a full like independent apartment or anything, because if the apartments are like basically $3,000, $4,000 for the amount of time I need to stay, and I just don't have that much. But there's one listing and it got good reviews, listing for just a room in their house or whatever, and it's about $1,500, and I have that. I can do that right now, so I'm thinking about doing that within the next couple days and just reserving it at least, and then if the campus one comes about, I'll just cancel the reservation. If I lose a few bucks on it, I don't care. I mean, whatever, it's just money after all. But the peace of mind will help. But I'm kind of waiting right now I just did a little freelance work where I'm getting paid a nice little paycheck for. So I'm waiting for that check to come, and then I'll deposit that check, and then I'll reserve it. So I imagine that'll happen this week, because I just sent out my invoice for that, and they're usually really fast about paying. I don't know. We'll see. But the thing is, it's going to take a few days regardless, because I don't have any money in my like active account. I transferred it all in a way to another account I use, and that's the whole reason, is because I don't have easy access to it. So I have to transfer it back, and that'll take a few days anyway. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll wait a few days. I'll wait till middle of next week, and if I haven't gotten my check yet, then I'll probably do a transfer. But the only reason I don't want to, or one of the main reasons I don't want to do that, is I just don't like the idea of zeroing out what I have right now. So it would basically be zeroing out what I have, and I just don't like the optics of that. So I'd like to just have it a little bit more and then do the transaction. But I know it's just a head trip thing, but it kind of matters for me a little bit. So that's where we're at. So fingers crossed that all plays out. But if I miss my window because I'm waiting on it, then I'm just going to look for shorter term Airbnbs, and I might just jump around every week. I'll be someplace different because it seems like I'm doing a pretty big window. It's going to be May 5th through May 31st. It will be the window that I'm going to stay in this one place. So that's, and I like it because it's not a friend. It's just it is a little bit more independent. It's just kind of like, it's taken care of. I'll just be able to come and go, and yeah, just hopefully be a little bit easier that way. All right, that's the update on the show. So if you're in Tennessee, or if you know people in Tennessee, let them know about it, in Nashville, Tennessee. And then also you can come to it too, no matter where you are, because I'll be live streaming the whole thing on my YouTube channel. So make sure you're following me on YouTube, subscribing to the YouTube, so that when it's happening, you can jump in the chat and say what's up and support and share it around with your friends at that time as well. Thanks for that. All right, the next thing is I do have an artist talk coming up, getting really excited for. I don't know where I was at last time we talked, but April 8th at my college I'm teaching at now, I'm going to be giving an artist talk. I put together the slide deck for it, and I think it's pretty much ready to go. I've been reviewing it every day. I look at it almost and see what it looks like. I'm really happy with how it looks, and I think there's an evolution that I'll be giving my slide decks as time goes on, but for now this is pretty good, because I think I want to like make my slide decks like a work of art all by themselves, because it's like it plays into the whole philosophy I have as an artist. It's like I'm just a 24/7 all the time artist. I'm not like this moment right now talking to you is part of my artwork. Like everything is artwork for me. It's like every moment, every action I do is an artistic expression, in my opinion, in the way that I approach myself with this whole idea. So I want to make sure that it translates that way in a lot of ways. So I want to elevate that kind of idea when I give a slide presentation. It's not just, I know I have a pretty good public speaking kind of ability. So that's one thing and then my music background and being on stage will help me do that. And now that I'm teaching, learning about that dynamic and all that, like this performative element is a part of it. So that'll be in there as well. But then the visuals, making sure that's elevated and conscious and like thought about and considered, is maybe the term I was looking for earlier was memorabilia. Maybe that's it. Memorabilia. When you buy somebody something on a trip and you bring it back to them and it's this little kind of idea. Is that what it is? No, I don't know if that's what it is. I bought you this little thing as a memorabilia of my, I don't know. Can't remember. So artist talk, it won't be live streamed, but it will be recorded. Hopefully, fingers crossed, everything goes smoothly with that. I asked somebody to record it for me and they said they would. So hopefully we'll get it recorded and then I'll post it on my YouTube as soon as I can after it. So probably sometime that week, the week of April 8th. So looking forward to that. I'm doing a little pop-up show of all the work that I've been doing recently as well. So that'll be really cool. I'm looking forward to it. Really excited about it. Yeah, can't wait. I'm hoping that actually the recording of it gets some traction. I hope people listen to it, because in my head, what I think I want to say, I'm basically everything that I'm going to talk about on artist talk, we've already talked about on these podcasts. Just a mindset around being an artist is a big part of what I want to talk about, but then my work specifically. So maybe, no, actually we haven't, because there's a lot of things that I probably haven't talked about specifically about my work on these podcasts, because that's not what this podcast is. It's not like a breakdown of my work. It's more of a breakdown of being an art professor. So yeah, so hopefully you'll check that out when I post it. So hopefully it's a little clickbaity. I'm hoping that we get a lot of people clicking on this one because of my title. But I said I'm going to title it because I'm going to title it, the time travel of podcasts. I'm going to title it Teaching Art, or Teaching Gives You Ulcers. Being a teacher gives you ulcers, or something like that. So as you probably heard me say last time, I was complaining about my stomach and having cramps, and it was just kind of frustrating. It was like really not fun. And the pain never got past like a 5. I mean, and if it did hit a 5, it was usually just for a moment. But it was persistent. It was kind of like, with my anxiety, with health related stuff, I get kind of wigged out because it's like, what could it be? It could be this, it could be that. I mean, I didn't have any tests taken or anything, but when I went to the clinic, they have this walk-in clinic in Maryville, which is really nice actually, because I never set up like a family practice situation. I just because I knew I wasn't going to be here, I'm leaving in a couple months. So I was just like, this is cool to just have a walk-in clinic. And it seems to always be like, I never have to wait. I just walk in, somebody's there to take care of me. I've gone there 3 times now. But I walked in and they checked me out. They asked me some kind. I told them what's going on. And it was pretty much like, it sounds like an ulcer. It sounds like that's what's going on. So let's treat it like an ulcer. And I got basically this really intense heartburn medication, I guess it's what it is. And some other stuff. And basically it started working within like 24 hours of taking the first dose. And I have to take the medication for like 3 weeks basically, or something like that, or a month basically. I think a whole month. So, but it's been working and I feel way better. Like my energy level, like it was like, I was struggling. I was like in class, basically the end of spring break till now, which has been 3 weeks? I don't even know. I can't remember. 2 weeks maybe? Yeah, I guess 2 weeks. But the first day back to class after spring break, like I didn't sleep well the night before, partly because of my stomach stuff and just different things. And then like that first day, I was just like out of it. I was like dizzy. I was like feeling weird. And then my stomach was acting weird, and it was kind of coming and going all week. And then for 2 weeks, and then I was walking to class on Wednesday, I think it was this week. And I just was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I was like, I turned around. I got like, I don't know, not very far from my house. And I just turned around, emailed the secretary, the school person, the administrator, and was like, I'm not coming in. I need to go to the clinic. Can you put a note on my door? And I went to the clinic and did the thing. And now I feel way better, because I was just like, it was hard to want to do anything. Like my energy was so drained because of this situation. Like I was just like fighting through to get through everything, that when I got home, like doing live stream, like I was just not inspired to do like anything but the minimum of what I had to accomplish. And so, yeah, but now ever since I've been feeling better the last couple of days, I'm like, my energy level is way better. I've been bouncing around a little more. I'm going to do I'm going to do a Splatoon live stream later, which I haven't done for a long time. So I'm really excited about that. So anyways, I mean, what causes it, right? Stress can be a related issue. I mean, diet can be a related issue. I think with the stress factor, I was talking about it, I don't feel my stress. This is what I think. My stress, my anxiety is affecting me a lot different than it used to. Like it used to affect me in a way that it would like get in my head a lot and really like make it hard for me to function mentally in a way. But now it feels like it's affecting my body physically. So I don't notice it as much until my body starts hurting in some way. Because it's just like, I'm aware that I have stress, this idea of, I don't know where I'm going to be working next year. I got the exhibition coming up. I got some other things I'm excited, but also, stressed about getting like my artist talk. Money is still an issue. It's not ideal, but things are looking up a little bit with the money situation. My taxes, as I explained last week, was frustrating. I still haven't gotten a word back from my guy, but I think I figured that out. But there's just like, and then the job itself, like, for the most part, it's pretty chill. It's like I'm doing fine, but there, every once in a while something comes up, like these minor little panics of like, oh shit, did I do something wrong? Or am I not explaining this right? Or did I not follow up? Or am I grading wrong? Or am I doing it right? And this kind of thing, like, all those self-doubt things that kind of come up sometimes, but also these practical or like actual, like a student's not understanding what's going on and how can I communicate with them? And I didn't expect to get pushback on this, and I'm getting pushback. And it's like, so there's like, different kind of things that are definitely stresses, but it doesn't weigh on me the same way. Like 5 years ago, the stress I had was very different. Like it felt like it was like a big weight on me, and so the weight is different, but it doesn't mean it's not affecting my body and in some ways. And that's what I think is how I'm dealing with stress these days, is like it doesn't affect me to the kind of like ability to do stuff as much, but it's like still there. It's still, so I got to keep reminding myself to, exercise, eat right, breathe, meditate, do all those things, because they all work for me. And that's one thing I haven't been doing as much of, is the exercise thing. It really hasn't happened. I mean, I walk to school every day, but I don't think that's enough, honestly. But my diet's pretty good, I think. I think my diet's pretty good. All right, so that's what happened. So we figured out why I wasn't feeling good last week and the last couple of weeks, because I did mention it last podcast. So hopefully, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. So I've probably mentioned this last semester as well on the podcast, but we have this thing at this school called advanced standing, where it's this kind of like 2-year basically check-in. Like if your students are on a typical track, it's basically at the end of the second year or so, you sign up. Students are supposed to sign up for this moment where they get their work. They get kind of critiqued to look at if they're ready to move on to more advanced level classes. They did their foundation level classes, and it's time for them to move on to their advanced level classes. And recently, and in this most recent process of doing that, I had a moment of confidence building, kind of a willingness to be more confident in myself in terms of being willing to say to a student, it's not the caliber you should be at to move forward. It's like you're behind. It's really, I mean, honestly, it's the student would have to be just really not doing anything to not pass it. Pretty much every student passes it, but they get a note. They get put on notice if it's like, your work's not quite that good yet. It doesn't seem like you're putting in the time and dedication to it. And especially, I mean, we all, as professors, we split up, and like 3 of us do different groups. There was like 3 days of this with different students each day. And, so we typically have them in our classes, or have had, know something about their work ethic just automatically. But it's hard to say like, oh, you're just not doing good enough, or no, it's hard to tell them that they suck, or something. It's like, but that's not what we would do. And I'm not that type of critique person either. I'm not a tear down type of person, and I don't drill them into like, why aren't you doing better, kind of. I'm just like, hey, this is where I see your strengths are, but you have a lot of weaknesses over here, here, and here. So you got to work on why, and then try to find out, investigate a little bit, ask some questions about what's going on, where their mind is at this whole thing. But I feel like I'm more and more willing as time goes on to be more direct about the kind of status, in the sense of where the students are. Like I can definitely say, like, up till this point, I'm an easy grader, I'm an easy professor, because I'm just like, hey, as long as you're doing something, I don't know, you're fine. And I do great in the critiques. Like I give them good feedback, but I don't necessarily, I give them critical feedback, in writing and in person, but I don't necessarily turn that critical feedback into like a lower grade. I'll still give them a decent grade, but I think I'm getting more comfortable with being willing to give them that lower grade too, and the critical feedback, and saying like, yeah, you're not quite there yet, and kind of point that out to them. Because part of it is also the fact that I'm learning that students, when I came into this a few years ago, when I started teaching, I had this assumption that all students would like expect an A, when that's not the case at all. There's more students, I'd say, kind of expect to not get an A, and if they want the A, they're usually vocal about it and work for it a little bit more. And we're transparent about it. But a lot of students are perfectly content with a C, and they don't say anything. And it's like, I was surprised at that, to be honest. So allowing myself to just be a little more critical in the grade as well, and saying like, hey, this is C work, this is B work. And I've been navigating it, trying to figure that out, because it's not easy. The thing that I think I want to do next round, what was it with grading? I was thinking about it recently. Basically this idea of like setting up the expectation, like at the beginning of the semester, like instead of thinking of the grade, thinking of it like where you are when you're first starting the semester. I think there's this philosophy. You could either think of it as like you have 0 points, you're all at 0, and you have to build up to an A, or you can think of it as you're all at an A, and it's just like what you do will reflect and it'll drop you down from that A. Like you're starting with an A and dropping down, or you're building up to that. I think that's a pretty typical way to look at it, either from both sides of the spectrum. But I was thinking like it kind of makes some sense to me to think of it as in terms of like, you're all at a B. It's like you are all at a B, and you have to prove to me that through your work ethic and through how you approach this, that you deserve that A. And I think I'm starting to see and develop mechanisms that allow me to do that, because that's the biggest thing for me is like, if the student is working and communicative and like, just like trying and turning things on time and like doing all that stuff, that'll bump them up to that A quickly. But if you're just kind of like checking the boxes, I mean, I don't want to give you more than a B if all you're doing is checking the boxes, which my classes it's easy just to check boxes, because and then it's like if you don't turn things in and that kind of thing, it lowers you. So I think that's the philosophy. The next round, the next time I get a chance to set up my course and set up the class and start it, I'm going to be like, you're all at a B, and this is what you can do to get an A. And this is so, and I don't like, it's like, but the hard part for me is like translating that into the grades in the moment. So it's like, sure, they might have checked all the boxes on this assignment, and that's what I'll just write it out. I'll say like, if you do everything as written, perfect, and you checked all the boxes, you maintain that B. And maybe it's like at the end of the semester, I look back, because that's what it is for me. It's like, it's hard to give them that grade throughout the semester. It's hard to give them that grade throughout the semester without being able to see like the body of the work when you get to the end of the semester and see how they are and how much effort they're putting into it. Because I want to adjust things based on like that overall aspect. But if they've like turned everything and then checked all the boxes, they're like getting the full score for everything. It's like, well, they're getting an A even though they don't really deserve it. And so that's what I'm going to do next round. I'm going to think of it as you're all at a B, and then you basically, if you check the boxes, it's like, that's when, and then at the end of the semester, I'll look back at how you interacted with this class and decide if that B becomes an A in a lot of ways. And that's the way I'll do it. I'm going to try it. I like it. We worked that out together just now. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm crazy, or if you're like, so you shouldn't do that, Zim. You need to have blah, blah, blah reasons. Let me know. So yeah, just finding more confidence in a way of giving my students critical, like just being a better professor in terms of the administrative grading part of things and that kind of thing, and being willing to give them the hard talk. I don't know. I think I've been decent at it, but there's just been a change. So what I'm currently studying myself. So I'm thinking more about the philosophy of art education and stuff as well, but also my philosophy as an artist, and they're hand in hand in a lot of ways. And I want to keep exploring this idea. But Joseph Beuys, if you don't know Joseph Beuys, he's a artist from the kind of, post-war era, little bit older than, or a little bit kind of younger than that, but out of Germany. Well, he did the main thing that I'm interested in is his social sculpture work that he does, which it's like, I don't know, I'm still trying to figure out how to define it, but essentially it's like performative, activist, political, conversational, like trying to just make society better, in a way, and everybody has a voice, and everybody can be an artist, and everybody can be a part of this. It really resonates with the way that I think about things. And so as far as like influences go, I read like this kind of biography of him just a couple days ago, and I downloaded one of his books called What is Art or something like that. Actually, I might as well just look it up while I'm here. And I'll read through that. What is art? That's what it's called. What is art? So I'll read through that, but I really feel like, as far as what I've been saying, I kind of had this new way to define your influences as an artist. And I think the biggest mistake that young artists make most of the time is they think they have to develop everything out of their imagination. They think they have to just be completely original. And that's not the case at all. You want to build off of what's already happened, and you want to have pride in that. You want to have, you want to feel like that's worth more than having a completely original idea. Like, that's where you want to do it. Like, as an artist, you want to be like, so like, you should want to make sure that you are directly connected to the artists that inspire you, in a sense, that kind of thing. And so the idea I've come up with is calling those inspirations your tribe. It's like, who is your artistic tribe? Who are the people that build up your practice throughout history, and what legacy are you like trying to move forward? And it can come from different places. I was thinking, like, visually, like, imagine like every artist that's ever been is in a room, and you are able to collect the 5 to 20 of them that your favorite artists, the people you're influenced by, and you put them in a little cluster. And it's like, that's the cluster. That's your little tribe. And like, other people have little other tribes and little other clusters. But it's like, how can you elevate these ideas and move them forward? And so, yeah, that's what I've been thinking about lately. So Joseph Beuys is a big one for me, that I'm trying to really understand his work, his idea, and incorporate, like, how can I do something with the way that I work that will access this kind of social, cultural, political, social sculpture, activist kind of, collective idea, in the world. And I think the thing that I want to use as my through line that I've been working on a lot lately is this, voting, registering to vote, like getting out, being an active participant in democracy is like the through line, the thing that I want to bind it. Like, so how can I make art that wraps around that concept, that gets other people involved, is out there? It's like, and done in a way that is sort of considered art. It's not, I know my performance work and what I do is pretty down the middle. It's not really esoteric in a way. It's not really abstract in a way. It's not like, there's a lot of performance artists that'll do something that you're like, what the heck? You have to really figure it out. I know my work isn't like, it's all right on, it's right in your face. It's right on the, in front of you. It's not like I'm not trying to hide anything through metaphor. It's like, I'm just there doing it. Very obvious, straight to the point. And so maybe I need to find a little more metaphor for ideas, or how can I play with an idea, but also get that activist idea out there, get that, voting idea out there. So that's where I'm at with that. The last thing I think we have to talk about today is applying for more jobs. So at this point, I've applied to 17 positions now. I don't remember where we are last week. And I think the ones that I'm adding on to I'm just going to go down the whole list again. I just this morning put them all in a Excel file in the order of doing. I just applied to another one today. So we'll see what happens. So from start to finish, and I'll try to highlight the ones that if I remember that I'm most interested in. So University of Washington, that was October 25th. That's, I'm sure, been filled by now. MCAD, Minneapolis College of Art and Design, I think it is. December 9th, 2023, Massachusetts College of Art and Design, December 24th. I kind of remember that one being of interest. New Haven, University of New Haven, Connecticut, December 24th. That one was kind of interesting. WIT Residency, University of Michigan, February 14th of 2024. That's a residency for the second semester. So that would be, like if nothing came up, but that did, then I'd have to figure out what I did for the first, half of the school year. But that was a while ago. I think that's probably already filled by now too. Because I don't think these things take more than a month to you'd get a callback within a few weeks, I imagine, for most of them. I don't know. And again, like I said last week, my college is filling positions, and the date that they put the listing up, it was about a week when they started getting people and doing interviews and getting people in. So they're turnaround. But I don't know, maybe schools work a lot different. Maybe it takes a longer time for different places. Kenyon College was February 21st. I really liked that one. That one seems really interesting to me. Charleston, South Carolina, not so much. March 3rd. The College of Creative Studies. This is a full-time faculty position. That one was really interesting to me. That's in Detroit. University of Tampa, March 7th is when I applied, a visiting faculty position. If I don't mention something, it's visiting faculty. That one I'm not interested at all, really, but I just was like, hey, it's a visiting faculty thing. Wesleyan University was cool. I liked their, I think I went over that one. Is that the one that I can't remember. It was either the Wesleyan or Davidson were the two, and that was March 11th and March 12th, those two. One of those was the best, explanation of what they were looking for. Their wording on their listing was amazing, the best. I have to remember which one that was. I think it might have been Davidson. Michigan State University, which was a lecture pool position, that was March 15th. And then I think these are the new ones now. School of Art Institute of Chicago, March 25th. That's a visiting position. I don't know. Some of these I don't fit perfectly, but I applied anyway. University of Louisiana Lafayette was March 26th, visiting. Not too keen on that. Louisville Height, I think it's in Kentucky. I think that's where it is. March 26th, visiting faculty. Ohio State University is a residency, but a full year residency, and you get to teach some classes and stuff. This is way up there on my list. I would love this opportunity. I like the location. I like where it's at. I like the big, the Ohio State, big school energy that's going on there. I'm that would be amazing. It's close to the other, it's in that kind of quadrant of the country that there's other big cities, kind of like Kenyon College, the same way. It's really close to where Kenyon College is. There's Pittsburgh is right there, Cleveland and other, Cincinnati, all right in that kind of area that not too far to travel to. And then today I just applied to Western Washington University, this kind of, I guess it's a school that's associated with called Fairhaven. It's this interdisciplinary school, and doesn't seem like it was specifically art, but they had art needs for visiting faculty. So I don't know. I just applied to it. I'm like, hey, this could be cool. But it's not just a straight up art school. Or I don't know. It's weird because they were kind of sort of advertising for multiple positions in one listing. But this interdisciplinary list, because some of it was very social, cultural, just more scholarly, or I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but more academic, scholarly kind of work versus studio art practice, but they did have listings of fiber arts and other things. So it was kind of I don't know. We'll see. If I get a call back on that one, this is pretty high on my list now too, because it's in Bellingham, Washington. My kids live really close to that, and so I could visit my kid. I could be with my kids for a year, and that would be awesome. That would be worth everything to get that position. So that's where we're at this point. And I'll just every day I go to my websites now. I'm looking at 2 websites now. I'm looking at this College Art Association one and then the higher ed website, and just every day seeing if there's a new listing, and if it's a visiting faculty position that seems to make sense for what I do, applying to it. There's not many. I don't know where else I might apply to a full-time position. Pretty much Michigan is the only spot that or there might be some East Coast cities that I'd be willing to go full-time. But so wish me luck, basically. That's the bottom line. Wish me luck that I can get one of these soon. Oh, obviously would love to get an email within the next couple of weeks and just kind of be like, yeah, we want to talk to you about this, and just kind of have it done. That would be, and so next semester I know where I was going. I'll be honest, the Fairhaven. So again, some of the portals, the way that each school requires their documentation or what you submit, there's this spectrum. The best one by far in terms of submission was the College of Creative Studies, because they were just like, email us your documents, done. There was like nothing else. It wasn't like, click this box, fill this in, do this thing, blah blah. There's like, email us your documents, and we're good. So I love that. That's why I wish everyone did that. But today's the Fairhaven was one of the kind of like, so you want my CV, you want my cover letter, you want all this stuff, and you want me to fill out boxes with information. It's like, just no. So I was starting off where I was going to be like, I was like, please see included CV and cover letter to answer the questions. And I was like, it might be a little bit too kind of, I don't know, whatever. So I just copied and pasted. I just opened up my CV and cover letter and copy and pasted the things into those fields. And then, I don't know, I'm like, I hate filling out forms. I guess it's like, that's my like Iron Man moment where he doesn't like to be handed things. If you know about the MCU and Iron Man and stuff, I don't like to fill out forms. I hate filling out forms. It's like the word, it's like, I don't ever want to fill out a form. Just don't make me fill out a form, please. I hate it. Anyways, there we go. We are done. Thanks for joining us today. If you're listening to this on the audio only formats, then please consider going over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/doesn't and follow and subscribing over there. That's the most important space for me. One thing I will update you on. So one last update. If you're watching this, I just moved to the side of the video and there's a little piece of paper in the background. That was my goal for August 2023 to August 2024, is to make an additional $10,000 either through YouTube, like this stuff, YouTube, all that kind of stuff, any online sources, Patreon, YouTube, that kind of thing, selling artwork and freelance work. So by the end of once I get that check in that I was mentioning earlier for the freelance work, we will have made basically, $3,000 through the month of April. So we got March, April, May, June, July. So we have 3 months to make the last $7,000. Who knows if it'll happen, but that's where we're at. We're at 3. It took me this many months, 9 months to make it to $3,000. So not too good, but hey, it's something, and maybe we're still manifesting it. So maybe that additional 7,000 will show up in the next 3 months, because they could. I mean, there is an opening. My exhibition, somebody could say like, how much is it? How much is it? And I'll be like, this much. And they'll be like, great, I want it. Because I want to sell the entire exhibition together, or I want to sell a significant chunk of it. I'm not going to sell individual posters or drawings. If somebody wants an individual drawing, they have to commission it separate. But as far as the exhibition goes, And I'll just probably be carrying around this exhibition and I mean, there's still the option that somebody might stumble across the Ketanji Brown Jackson drawings and buy those. That would be amazing. But the Justin Jones and Justin Pearson drawings, they're going to stay as a complete set. And yeah, hopefully somebody will walk into the gallery and be like, this is amazing. I need this. This should be put in our collection. I want this as part of my collection or whatever. I'll be like, you're more than welcome to. And then we'll hit that goal plus a lot more. So that would be amazing. All right, my friends. Thanks again for joining. Like I was saying before I got on that last tangent, subscribe on YouTube, and we'll catch up with you again next week, hopefully. But I'm on the YouTube a lot, so come by if you just want to hang out for something else that I'm doing. I'll probably be streaming a little bit more again because I haven't been for a while. But I'm going to be making some art soon. Next week, first week of April, I'll be back streaming art because I do have a commission I got, but they haven't paid me for it yet. But I'm just going to do the drawings because I trust that they'll buy it anyway. We'll see what happens there. But I did get a commission, I guess. And the drawings fit within what I'm doing. Anyway, I got a request to do another Ketanji Brown Jackson drawing because, yeah, they didn't want to buy. They asked if they could buy one out of the set. And I was like, I said yes, but I was a hesitant yes. I was like, well, because of who you are and the situation, I would be willing to sell you one. But I was like $200 for one drawing, and that was too much for them. So I was like, which I thought was low. I thought that was gonna be like, oh, that's no problem. I was like, I thought they were like, I thought they were gonna be like only $200. It was great, but no, it was like too much. So I was like, well, and so they were like, well, what can you do for $50? And I was like, well, I can do a drawing for I can basically draw you something on commission for any price you want to pay. And so they're like, yeah, you decide what it is, and I'll just give you 50 for it. So I was like, all right, I'll do it. I'm going to do the square ones that I used to do a lot more of, the profile picture, 18 by 18. But I'm going to do 4 of them, or 3 of them, 3 or 4, and just do them as like a thing, and then they can pick the one they want out of the set of them. That's the plan. So I'll be doing that next week, and I'll list the rest of them on my Etsy shop, I guess, if somebody else wants to buy one of the other ones. All right, man, this podcast went way longer than I was expecting. I thought this would be a super short one, but it turned out to be about 45 minutes. All right, peace, my friends. As always, be loving, kind, and patient, and we'll catch up with you again real soon. Bye.